guys, welcome to the Melissa and Melissa show. So I had to change the name just for that. If you're new here, welcome to Chats from the Blog Cabin. Today I'm joined in person by a repeat guest, Melissa Harrell. She was actually one of the very first, I think the first week or so when I first started doing Chats from the Blog Cabin, she came on, and she was also on the mental health panel. So Melissa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm a mom like you, Melissa. I've got three teenagers, one college student. And so I'm a mom, first of all and foremost. And then I'm a mental health professional. So I work in the mental health field. I'm currently working in the early Head Start community with mental health out in that area. And I'm also very passionate about my mission work in developing countries. And I think that's what we're going to kind of talk about today.
Yep, we're going to talk, first of all, let's talk about Unearth Hope, which is a nonprofit based here in North Carolina.
Yes. So Unearth Hope is a nonprofit that, like you said, is based here in the Raleigh area. And it grew out of mission work in Guatemala through the folks who are all a part of our board. Many of us had traveled several trips, some of them 8 or 9 times, quite a few times we work with the indigenous Mayan population where we're looking at 70% poverty, very dire health statistics. It's a medical mission team that we take into these areas and just really give people things, not give, but give them an opportunity to have health services that they wouldn't have without these services for what we bring.
Yeah, I had Sarah from Unearth Hope. She is the founder of Unearth Hope, right?
That is true. She's our board president.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, and she talked about how when you guys go down there and you do medical missions and stuff like that, they actually have to pay for their services, like 75 cents for like a whole family.
Yes.
To pay.
We believe in empowerment, and we believe that when people are invested in what they are receiving, that they are able to really reap all the benefits. And the programs are not just about the medical piece. It's really about lifting up and empowering the entire community. One of the things that we take are Days for Girls kits, and those are actually reusable menstrual kits. I know I never thought about it because growing up in a country where you just have access to those products and your mom teaches you have them, in developing nations, women often are really limited into what they can do when they have their menstrual cycle. They often miss a lot of school or work due to those things. So we take those kits, and the women attend a health education class, and that's how they kind of receive their kit through that. And that's empowering to women in those communities because then they're able to work and go to school and not miss out because their monthly cycle. That's a lot of time to miss. When you're a woman, we spend a lot of time with that part.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that struck me when I was interviewing Sarah was the fact that sometimes people have to choose between buying menstrual products and buying food for their family.
Absolutely. And so you can see where that's a big struggle for folks who are already living on very, very little as it is. And so for women, that leads them, obviously, you're going to purchase food. You're then using very unsanitary methods to take care of that, which leads to a lot more infections and just, poor health in general.
Yeah, I mean, so what got you involved with Unearth Hope?
So I originally, my mission work had been in Kenya with an orphan empowerment project. And so as I was just kind of journeying along this way, I got reconnected with someone that I used to teach with at Wayne Community College here, and that would be Eleanor Armstrong, who is actually Sarah's mother. And so Eleanor's a retired early childhood education specialist, and her husband, which is Sarah's father, Martin, is actually a now retired United Methodist pastor. And so I became reconnected with Eleanor, and she started sharing with me this work that they were doing and asked me, would I come and see the kits being made? And I just fell in love with the project so much. And so within that year, I traveled the first time in 2017 with them on the trip and was just blown away at what I saw happening. I had also just recently graduated from public health school, and it just touched everything that I love about public health because, as we're learning in this pandemic, really prevention is the best medicine. And so I think that when we go into these communities and we offer education and equip people, then it's much better than waiting for people to become ill and then treat an illness. So I just fell in love with everything. The people in Guatemala that we work with are just so enduring. Unless people go it's hard to describe the feelings that you have when you are interacting with folks. And like Sarah expressed to you, this is not about going to do something for someone. This is about joining in a community and going alongside people. You know, we all go through struggles. We were just chatting before we came on about personal struggles for both of us. And so having that shared kinship and friendship where we support one another, and that's a lot of what this work really is we come into a community. No one knows as best as a community what they need than the people of the community themselves. And so we come alongside and say, how can we support you?
I love that. The fact that you're trying to partner with them instead of trying to take over and say, well, this is the way you guys should do this. You're taking how they're doing it and you're working it so that you work within the community. I love that.
That's the best way to work.
So you're not going in and totally putting your nose up in the air like you're better than this.
Right. And, you know, I think that sadly, we often think that Western medicine is so superior to other things. And I'm very grateful for the advancements that we have in Western medicine. But you can also learn a lot from Indigenous people and where cures and the way that they interact. So we like to honor and respect all those things culturally and find out where if we combine all these things together, what's the best solution.
Yeah, I love that. Now, Unearth Hope provides medical care, you said, days for girls, menstrual kits. What's some other things that they provide?
Also eyeglasses and eye exams. And that's part Martin and Eleanor's strength that they bring onto the team. And, you know, you don't think about that as much, but particularly a lot of the Mayan women do a lot of very intricate needlepoint work. It's so beautiful. And when your eyesight, we were actually discussing this earlier. I'm trying to read your Bible with this mice type print. And we're talking about age and how our eyes begin to change. Once women have that to happen, it's very difficult to continue to make a living when you can't see what you're doing. So the eyeglasses are very instrumental in helping not only with, you know, just the gift of sight, but also the ability to earn an income.
Yeah. And so COVID has actually, you guys can't travel. So you guys have come up with a unique way to kind of help the community.
Right. So we actually partner with a sister agency on the ground there, which is the Living Heritage Foundation. And they are, you know, since COVID started, it's, you know, yes, it's bad for us here in the US, but when you're in a country with very little medical infrastructure to start with and very little just support in general, it's really led to a lot of problems. So the agency that we partner with does a lot of empowerment, of course, as well. But when you get into these crisis situations, you go into relief mode. And so they've had to just go out and literally get in trucks and deliver food to people, hand sanitizers, masks, gloves, the whole bit. So what we've been doing since we can't travel is supporting financially Living Heritage and the work that they're doing on the ground there to keep people the best that we can until we can get back to travel.
I know when I first interviewed you at the beginning of COVID, when you were on talking about how people could handle stress during COVID and that whole big topic, you were talking about the dengue fever that what they had just recovered from. Am I correct?
Right. And that's very true. And a lot of these regions, you know, what we're experiencing with COVID, a lot of developing nations have waves and waves of infectious disease that go through very frequently. And we never hear about it because it's not that important for us as on our news cycle here in the US, but they had just really went through another outbreak of that. And so you've got to think that what health systems they had were impaired by that, as well as just immune systems of folks. If you'd recovered from that and you come back to back with something like COVID, that just makes for more challenging times.
Yeah. Totally true. And so you guys have teamed up and come up with a really great way to raise awareness for Unearth Hope and fundraise for Unearth Hope. Now tell us about that.
So yeah, we're really excited about this. I know a lot of folks are feeling kind of bummed about the holidays and that you might not be able to spend as much time with your families, or you won't be able to do normal big celebrations like you normally do. So we decided to partner to create something that would kind of, you know, help us, but also help you as well. So we have the Great Quetzal Cookie Run that's coming up. So, you know, we all like to eat our cookies, but, you know, sometimes the cookies like to, you know, add to our quarantine weight as we go along. So this is a way to kind of go with that. So this is actually a virtual run. So you can do it anytime between December the 1st or December the 13th. And what we're encouraging folks to do, I am not a runner. I have a daughter who was like the high school runner of the year 4 years in a row. But,
yes, she was.
But Melissa is not a runner. Usually there will be something chasing me, and you should run faster than me if you see me running. But you can walk, you can stroll, you can just do whatever. But it's just a great way to get involved with your family and to feel good about something. I know for most of us that are at least online watching, we're very blessed. And I certainly do not need one Christmas present for myself, or my children certainly don't need a whole lot. And so this to me is just a great way. We talk a lot about rethinking Christmas and thinking about how we spend our resources. And to me, this is just a really good way to feel good about, okay, we're having fun as a family, which is really the most important thing, but we're also helping to support this great cause too.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that you can also get out, like you said, in one of the press releases, your quarantine bubble, like basically the people that you've been quarantining with, you guys can do it as a kind of like a group, but not sort of a group because of the regulations, at least in North Carolina, where you're only allowed, 10
people now, yes.
10 people, but still you can still get out and like monitor, like pace yourself, like have the young kids kind of walk a little bit ahead or a little bit, and the older adults that don't walk quite as fast, walk behind and do that. I love that.
It is. And I think, it's so much, it's such a great family thing to get involved with. And that's why, like I said, yes, it is a run, but you can walk or stroll. You can get every generation of folks involved. You can get your grandparents, your parents, children. And, I was just chatting with one of our board members who has young children, and she was talking about how her daughter is, very elementary school age young. She's already getting so interested in Guatemala and what we're doing there. But this is the time to share with children that there are folks outside of yes, it's sad that school looks different and things are different, but what a great learning opportunity for us as parents to be able to say, but things are different in other places. And let's learn about that, and let's understand how our sense of gratitude, and then what can we do to support other people in the world.
Yeah, because I will tell you folks, when I first went to Mexico, my husband's from a very rural community in Mexico, and when I first went to Mexico, they didn't have indoor water, anything like that, and it was a shock to my system. I felt the pampered princess almost, like, and they kill their farm animals are running around the yard, and they kill them and they eat them the same day. And it's nothing to see chicken heads laying in the yard, or matter of fact, there's a really cool story. It's a funny story. I want to say it's cool. I have my husband's number 9 of 10 kids. So he has a lot of nieces and nephews that are, some of them are my girls' ages and some of them are older.
Right.
And so, but the younger niece and nephew were like, picked up 2 dead chicken heads in the yard and were playing with them, like, chicken fights. And I was like, oh my gosh. That one I thought was funny, but seeing the pig entrails where you hang up your clothes was not my idea of fun, and I could not eat that day. But now I can stomach that because I'm used to it now.
Right.
But going to a country that you don't know anything about and learning and seeing the difference, you'll have gratitude for what we have in our country right now.
Right. And, that's where that term culture shock comes from. It really is. And I think one of the things that's happened over time for me, that first time, like you said, so much so, but I've also learned what I can live with and what I can live without. And it's been very helpful for me over the past couple of years, and some of the things I've had to walk through to say, that might have, if I'd never had those experiences, I probably would be more devastated by certain things. But learning that simplicity, I think we think some of these things are great, but it complicates things.
And actually, I think COVID has made a lot of us rethink our positions on things as well.
I agree about my calendar. I know when things get back to quote normal, there will be some things that will not return to my calendar that were there before, because I've just decided they're not that important.
And just like we were talking earlier about where you put your time in.
Yes, so true.
So the Great Quetzal Cookie Run, how much is it to register for it?
So if you do the virtual 5K, that is $30, and you get an awesome t-shirt that will be shipped to you in time for the holidays. It's really pretty. It's a nice forest green with the logo, really cute. So I think it would make a nice family Christmas photo. So very unique. And then you can register for the 1 mile fun run, which is $10. And there's an option to add the shirt if you want to purchase the shirt with that for an additional cost. So that's how we're doing that for the run.
And is there a time limit?
We will be doing the signups. Those end on November the 30th. So you've got from now until November the 30th at midnight to sign up for the virtual runs. But we've got other ways that people can be involved after the 30th if they're not really thinking they want to run. If they're more of an eater and a baker, we have some options too.
Yeah, which brings me to the next thing. But as you see right now, and I'll put them in the show notes, scrolling on the bottom of the screen is the registration for the race. You go to https://runsignup.com/race/North Carolina/anytown/ the Great Quetzal Cookie Run, and you'll get it from there. But I will put it in the show notes and also on the Facebook page as well. So let's talk about the yumminess of this event.
Before we do that, though, I want to tell folks, if you're not a runner, but you know folks who do, because I have tons of running friends, please do share this with them because they really get into this stuff. They like to out time each other and all that stuff. There's a race app that they will actually be able to download that will help them to track and to see who's doing what. So for those that are avid runners, get this information to them. They really like this stuff. But the yummy part is we're going to do the 12 days of Christmas cookies. And so each day, beginning December the 1st, by folks following us on the Unearth Hope webpage for Facebook, you will be able to get a cookie recipe for each day. So we've got bloggers involved, yours truly. Yep. And so we already have a really nice collection of recipes and cookie bars that folks can cook. So we just encourage folks to like our page and to follow that along and really have some fun with your family making those recipes and sharing those recipes. And we're using the hashtag Unearth Hope and hashtag Cookie Run Repeat.
Oh, Cookie Run Repeat. Oh, I like that.
Exactly.
I did not know about that hashtag. Folks, I will tell you, I know several of the bloggers that are involved. One is almost a brand new baby blogger.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because I've been helping her get her blog started, and that's Bailey from Poppy Seeds Kitchen. I almost blanked on her name. She's going to kill me. Sorry, Bailey. And then also have a friend of mine, Kate, that's actually involved in it as well. And Kate's recipes are amazing. And
we have Catherine Lean, who is a blogger in the Atlanta, Georgia area. She's a native North Carolinian, also with a big job at CDC. So she's a big public health girl herself, and she has lots of information. But she has a beautiful blog, and she does amazing recipes. So I'm going to be really excited to see her recipe as well.
Now, I have a question. Is it too late for bloggers to sign up if they want to participate?
No, we still have about 4 slots left for some amazing cookie recipes. So if you got any bloggers out there that want to join in or, just let us know. We're ready.
You don't really have to be a food blogger either, do you?
Not really. No, I came up with the recipe, and I'm certainly not a food blogger.
She is a feelings, emotions, thought therapist blogger.
Yeah, so. Something like that.
But when you honestly think about it, you eat your feelings a lot too, don't
True
we?
that.
So it kind of goes together.
Yeah, it does. And also I find that one of the things I've loved about connecting with people and hearing them share these recipes. I know one of the recipes we're going to share actually comes from one of our board members, and it's her mother's recipe. So recipes are very binding and cultural. And when you think about what we're doing, every culture has its very specific. Even when we were talking about earlier about Western North Carolina versus Eastern, and I grew up in Western North Carolina, but have lived in Eastern North Carolina, and they're very specific. Where I grew up, we had chicken and dumplings. Here it's chicken pastry. So, it's fun to really see these recipes shared and to hear the stories behind them. And I just think it just shows that we are also connected, no matter whether you live in Guatemala, North Carolina, where you live in the world, we're connected by stories and food.
And honestly, folks, I just thought about something. If you're a homeschool parent, this would be a great way to introduce your kids to Guatemala is by doing the run and incorporating your PE in that.
Absolutely.
And then your social studies, and then maybe
cooking is math, measuring. Yep. There you go.
There you go. You
the only good use I found for math. Sorry, homeschooling moms.
Disclaimer.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to share, Melissa?
No, I thank you so much for allowing me to come on and talk about this. It's obviously something I'm very passionate about, and our board is very passionate about. And like I said, I know we get tunneled into our own world, but I think it's a great place for families and particularly parents, whether they're homeschooling, which in this day and age, really everybody is to some degree, but just a great way to think about the holidays instead of being so reflective on ourselves.
Yep.
To say, you know, what can we do? We're living in this time with quite a bit of negativity, and seems to be negative. But when you go out into the world, I had an experience the other day at the DMV of all places, where someone was willing to pay for something because I didn't have cash. And I was like, humanity is not lost, you know? So, you know, I think that this event is just a great way to encourage your family and encourage your community that we're all interconnected no matter where we live. And everything impacts us no matter whether it's next door or 4 countries away.
Yeah, and plus too, it'll help you kind of get out of that COVID fever, because it's going to start getting cold. At least in North Carolina, we'll start getting chilly. Not really cold, but you know, all across the nation, it's going to start getting cold. So that's the way to get out and go ahead and get that exercise in.
Yes, it is.
Stuck inside.
And you know, as a mental health professional, we approach that. You're talking about seasonal affective disorder. I was just listening to other therapists today talk about how we're going to see an elevation in that because we've already kind of been hibernating because of COVID. So like Melissa said, it's great. Get out, get your walk in, get your run in, help a great cause. And you've burned your calories, so then you can eat your cookies.
Or either that, eat the cookies, then go out and do the walk.
Yeah, exactly. Do it in either order. We don't really care which way it goes.
That's right. And for those that are asking, the reason why we're not wearing masks is we've seen each other all throughout quarantine.
We're in the COVID bubble.
We're in the COVID bubble. So I know somebody's going to come back and say that.
Right.
But we're in the COVID bubble. We have actually, she's on my phone constantly. Like we're texting back and forth and doing things. And let's see, we have a comment from Laura. A couple of comments.
Okay.
She said, there is good in the world still.
Yes, there is, Laura.
Especially at the DMV.
Yep.
Which honestly, I think since they've streamlined that and everybody has to have an appointment.
Well, I guess this was actually the license plate office to be accurate, but same thing. No, you can't get an appointment there. I waited till the line went down. I stopped the line, just saying.
And then she said, excited to check out Unearth Hope and sign up for the 5K.
Awesome, Laura.
I am keeping you to that promise, Laura. I'm keeping you that promise, because Laura was actually on Monday. She was sitting here with me as well.
Awesome.
And she talked about essential oils because Western medicine. And
there you go.
So there we go. Kind of tied in. Did not know I was going to start the week with alternatives and end the week with alternatives.
Exactly.
So tie it all in.
Very good.
So, guys, I just thank you so much for tuning in. Melissa, is there anything else that you want to share?
No, I think that's good. You know, I could talk all day, so you have to cut me off.
Like I said, you've seen Melissa up here before. She is super sweet. I love her to death. Go back and tell you the really story of how we met was when my oldest, who is 25 now, was in kindergarten. And my husband was actually in Mexico because we had a problem with his visa. And Maddie had separation anxiety because she was afraid I was going to go away. And so Melissa would meet me in the hallway at the elementary school, little Maddie, kindergarten little girl, with a cute little bob haircut. And she would pull Maddie off of me and take her to class. Yeah. That's how we really got to be really close.
Yep. It was a bit like prying Spider-Man off the side of a building, but we did it.
Spider-Man off the side of the building. I love that. So, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you guys later. And thank you, Melissa, for being on.
Thank you.